Hi, my name is Pete Clark and I'm here at Lone Rock Point. We're located on the shores of Lake Champlain, nearly in downtown Burlington. To get here, you park in the Diocese parking lot, sign in at the CRAG Vermont kiosk, and follow the beautiful trails to the westernmost point of the peninsula. So despite being located right in downtown Burlington, the climbing history here at Lone Rock is relatively short compared to other areas here in Vermont. Routes started being established around 2012, 2013, I would say, and shortly thereafter, the landowner, upon discovering climbing here, wanted a better handle of how climbers were using the space and wanted a climbing management plan. So over the course of a handful of years, CRAG Vermont worked with the landowner, the Episcopal Diocese of Vermont, to develop a management plan to best steward for climbing here at the point. Lone Rock is a pretty special place for the residents of Burlington, the Episcopal Diocese of Vermont, but ecologically and geologically it's a pretty unique area. It supports northern white cedar, which is an incredibly long-lived species and grow up to several hundred or even 1,000 years. And geologically it's pretty unique. It's a calcareous stone, dolostone, or limestone-like, and what it creates is these big sweeping overhangs, large features that are difficult to navigate, oftentimes requiring a knee pad to be able to knee bar your way up through these features. Something we really don't see a lot on the schist and the granite of Vermont or even here in New England. So the route I climbed today is called half Sloth, half Alligator, half Wolfman. It's a route that I established sometime last year. It was partially equipped by Ivan Teague earlier on, and then I was able to bring it up the arête to the top of the cliff. So the climb starts off, you start with this big meaty undercling, and you kind of sloth crawl your way up with a big knee bar and climb your way through, and immediately right off the ground you get a little bit of a crux. And that probably checks in at around V6 or V7 to a break. So from the break, there's a couple ways you can do it, but the way I choose to climb it is I grab an undercling, cross this neat rounded knob, and pounce to this pencil-thin rail. From there, you keep it together on a couple of pinches and edges, and at that point you end up on a little bit more reasonable terrain and dihedral. So after transitioning across, you grab a pretty good left-hand hold, set up on a bad right-hand crimp, and do this hard dyno out left hand. This is such a filter of the route. The number of times you can climb up there and fall and climb and fall and climb and fall is countless. So after sticking the third crux, you end up on a decent little rest where you can catch a quick chalk and a quick reprieve, and then immediately charge into a final compression style boulder, which is the final crux of the route, the Wolfman. So from the rest, you grab 2 or 3 small edges, get a really high right foot and engage that knee bar you were using earlier, and do a few moves to end on a final hero move out on that point of the arête. So after that final crux, you do a few long lock-offs on a vertical face, which leads to some more moderate terrain, and you end up topping out the cliff at the tourist lookout, which usually leads to some interesting conversations with spectators. So if you haven't gathered already, this is a pretty spectacular place to hang out and climb, and there really isn't a lot of terrain like this in Vermont with steep overhangs that you can take a big victory whip from the top of the cliff, lower down, and then go for a swim in the lake afterwards.